What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be showing you how to DJ a high school football game year 2. I posted a video just like this last year. We just got here to the high school. I'm going to get things unloaded, show you what we're using to set up. We're going to be using a combination of our speakers tied in with their house system that is up there that you're not really able to see. So we'll get that all set up. We'll show you how we're going to work around some unique challenges that you might run into at sporting events, and let's get into it. Hit that like button. Let's go. So my first piece of advice is going to be always bring more than you think you need. And by that I mean like adapters, different dongles, extra chargers, power bricks, extension cables, XLR, all sorts of stuff. Like these are going to come in handy in a bit. You're going to see why. And then also extra chargers are always good just in case the charger goes bad. You're going to need to keep the show going. And then I've got there's a bunch of power cables down here, just long extension cables, XLRs, IECs. I've got 2 RCF speakers. I've got to bust out my Rev 7 out of the DJ booth and bring that up into the press box. Press box is pretty tight, so we're out of space, or we don't have a lot of space, but let's set up these 2 tripods and throw some speakers up, and then I'll bring you upstairs. So the first one I put is over here in the middle of these 2 sets of bleachers. Kids don't come back here, so I'm just gonna throw one right about here. And then we're gonna run the extension cable under the bleachers and over to where you see that kind of orange extension cord going up into the power. So we'll run some power over there. We'll have 1 speaker here. There are some speakers up on top of the press box. They're super old. They get the job done and they're wicked loud, but they want us to provide some reinforcement. They're actually redoing this entire place, so there's going to be a way better sound system installed for next year. They just installed this huge video board. If you're looking for some decent tripods, these are pretty good. They're nothing incredible, right? They're pretty affordable, but they're affordable and they get the job done. They're the on-stage, just regular tripods. They come with this nice bag to prevent them from getting all scraped up. These are 6 months old. You can see they're still in pretty good condition. Let's get this set up. So when you're setting up a tripod, the most support you're gonna get is when these bars right here are parallel with the ground. So you want them fully extended just like that. That'll prevent it from tipping over if you get some wind gusts, especially when you're outside, you gotta deal with wind. So that's gonna be great just like that, boom. And then we'll go up as high as we can to help project some sound. Boom, that one's set up. I'm gonna take this one over there and we'll do the same thing. And I mean, I'm able to pull right up here and just park here all night, so it's always great. And then the other one is over here in between these bleachers. So there's 3 sets of bleachers on this home side. The left, the middle, and the far right, which is over there. We're gonna put the other one right here in the middle. Now we've got that one set up right there. I'm trying to keep it nice and close to the bleachers so that way kids can walk past it without tripping, but see what happens. Normally that's gated off with that orange stuff, but they're doing a lot of construction here, redoing everything, so things are a little different every time I get here. So it's time to bust out these RCF speakers. First thing I'll say is you should always have bags for your stuff, because when you're moving around, especially in a van or an SUV or a car, things are gonna get scratched up, they're gonna look dented, they're gonna look a little scraped up. And honestly, they're just gonna look janky. So keep your stuff in good shape by getting bags and storing it correctly. That way, you know, if you bump into the wall or you take a hard turn or have to slam on your brakes, things don't get all out of shape, you know? So let's throw a speaker on the tripods real quick. Boom. And these are the RCF Art 912s. They're nothing incredible. I mean, they're like 900 bucks. They're their entry-level speaker, but these things are wicked loud. And another tip, I always throw these on my gear, just so, you know, if I ever leave anything anywhere or forget something, people know where it came from. And now our speaker's up here. We just got to throw in an IEC power cord and an XLR and we're good to go. And then we'll run our XLR from that window and drop it down. This is our power right here. That is not our extension cord, but good God, that thing is tangled. And now we've got the second one up. So let's get these cabled up and then we'll go up top. So I know a lot of people like to use cable bags. I actually use this Husky pack out style bin. And in the middle, I keep all my IECs and my XLRs. So we're gonna use a couple of these, throw a couple powers in the mix. And in the bottom, I keep big, longer cables, like long extension cords, stuff like that. So all my little dongles and whatnot go in the top, common cables in the middle, and less common cables down bottom. So this has been working really good for me. I've been using it for about a year, and I honestly love it way more than a cable bag. So that's just my tip. Consider grabbing one if you're not loving the cable bag thing. I just like stuff that's on wheels. I'm trying to get everything on wheels. So, and they just stack. You can grab more of these parts for it, throw it right up on top, and they just clip right in. So when we're looking at the back here, I've got the speaker over there, and then I've got this speaker here. This is gonna be the secondary speaker. So we're gonna run this speaker from the other speaker that's on the other side of this. So we're just gonna run one cable down to that speaker, and we're going through that speaker. That speaker over there will run up into the box and be like our main master speaker. If that makes sense. So on this speaker that's to the right, we're gonna put it in the balanced input, and then we're gonna run it to the other speaker, and it'll actually plug into the bottom output on the left speaker. So I ran that all the way down, and we made it to about here. We still got a little bit of ways to go before we get there, so I'm gonna go grab one more. Boom, here we go. And this one's gonna go into the output right here on the bottom. So now we're gonna run an XLR from this input back over here and up into that window. So now the next step will be plugging in one of these IECs right here into the power. Oh, these are made in Italy, cool. And then we're gonna run an extension cord all the way under there just like we did. And that'll power that, and we'll be good to go. And we'll do the same thing on the other one, plug an IEC in. And then I've got a couple extension cords here ready to go, and we'll just power them up. And the last thing we'll have to do is drop our main XLR down. And then the one thing I like to do is I'll tape them or Velcro them to the back of the cable, but I'll make sure that it's not pushing down. Like if we pull too tight, you apply pressure to the ports, and eventually over time they'll wear out. So I always give them a little extra slack before I do that. That way they're not like pulling down on the port super hard. So the next challenge is we only have one of the, oh, and look at that, that is not good. We're gonna push that back in there. That is got too much tension on it. Oh my. That is not good, not good. That's better. Okay. So we only have one, looks like a 20 amp circuit, if I had to guess. I'm not super sure, but it doesn't have the line going through it, so it's definitely not 30 amp. But yeah, we only have one of these. So what I'm gonna do, I only need 2 plugs down here. I'm gonna use this triple prong extension, plug into one side, and then I'll use the left side to run to my left speaker and run my right speaker out of this right one all the way over there. So I always try to have like extra stuff for the job, just because you never know what kind of hurdles you're gonna run into. Like here, you know, you might think you got all these extra outlets, and if you don't have a surge protector, this is your solution. This is great. I don't know why this doesn't want to plug in. Hold on. There's like a protector on it. There we go. All right, now we're plugged in. We'll keep that there. And we'll run our 2 right from there. And we plugged in the last speaker. So now we're good. Let's go up top, set up, and drop down our XLR. All right, speakers are set up. Let's check it out. It's always a mess up here. I don't think they've ever cleaned it. So many dead flies and bees. It's all good. This is our view for the night. Again, they got that super cool video board over there, like Jumbotron kind of thing. And got all these new screens, replay monitors, all sorts of new tech. Super awesome. Let's get into this setup. Got to open up this window a little bit. We're gonna run our cable around the back here, over to where my DJ controller will sit. This is the cord. I'll drop it down, put it over to that speaker, and then that'll be getting the feed here. And then I'll show you how we tie into their house system in a minute. Got my cable dropped, and I've got one last XLR here to run from here into the back of the speaker. So let's get that set up. And here we go. Boom. So we'll flip this on. Actually, we won't flip these on just yet. We'll wait. We'll wait. All right, I got my DJ controller up here. We're using the Rev 7. Doesn't really matter what you use as long as you've got some adapters with you. So first thing I'm gonna do is plug the XLR in. Boom, that's good to go. I run mono out of the board, so each side's gonna give a mono signal. And then we're gonna plug in our USB-A to our DJ computer. And we'll just make sure that these are both on A, so they're picking up the signal from that. And in order to tune into the house system and to get the house system to project what I'm putting out of my board as well, we're using the only output or input they have is this. So with this, we have two options, right? I can plug it into my headphones, and then I don't have headphones for the night, and I gotta run these on master all night. I did that last year, I didn't love it. I like having my headphones. So we're gonna use an adapter to plug into the back of this and to go into our master 2. All right, so we're gonna go into master 2. I'll show you the adapter. I just gotta find it in here, and then we'll be good to go. I have found the adapter. So it's an RCA to 3.5. And we're gonna plug in their house system, wherever it may be, right here. We're just gonna put this in, click it in real tight, and then it shouldn't matter which end you go into. But I mean, I guess we'll test it and find out. So that's in there now, we're good. And then I just gotta plug in my computer, plug in the charger, and we're ready to fire. So I'm also gonna throw an aux feed in here, and I'm gonna aux into my computer's headphone jack, so that way I can run sound effects from a program called 7 Audio that my boy DJ EJ and DJ Yoshi put me onto. So that'll be running from the computer. It runs on like a desktop emulator. It's called Parallels on Mac. So it allows you to run desktop only apps on a Mac. So let me throw the computer up there and we'll get fired up. Also check out the skin. Boom. Look at that. You kidding me? Incredible. So we'll plug this into the headphone jack. We'll get the charger out and we'll connect the controller, and that's everything. So I'm firing up Serato right now, and I'm also going to show you how I run 7 Audio. So we've got this app on here called Parallels. If I can find it, I don't see it. So I'll just go in here. Parallels desktop, boom. So I'll click on this. This will open up Windows 11. And in here I'm running 7 Audio, so I can, just play quick click effects type music, sound effects, remind me tomorrow, cool. So in here I have a bunch of different stuff warmed up. It gives you your tabs and your pages within each tab. So on warm-ups, I've got a bunch of music just ready to go. For the players and the crowd, I guess I didn't put this music in yet. That's great to know. I've got PAs, instrumentals, ceremonial, chill, top 40 instrumental, etc., etc. But the game day tab is the one I'm usually on. And I built this when I was doing US Army football's game. So I had all their Army specific stuff in here. But I also have bumpers, which are just like quick tracks that I can play in between plays. I've got 2 pages of those. I've got 1 page of those. I've got songs for kicking. So like big hype EDM songs, if they missed a kick, if we're trying to ice the kicker. And then I've also got a tab for offense. So we can see like if there's a big run play, I'll play stuff about running. If there's a completed pass, I can throw some more songs in there. Goal line stuff, if we're on the goal line, about to score. Big moments, touchdown, extra point sound effects, stuff like that. And then, I'm not sure why it's all running though. So that's awesome. And then I've also got defense stuff on here. So, you know, we intercepted. There was a fumble recovery, third down, big hit, defensive music. I've got stuff for halftime. I guess I don't. I also have stuff for injuries, you know, just some random instrumentals, light stuff in the background. So that's kind of how I lay it out. And I like to have this just ready to go because sometimes in Serato, you know, if I'm in my sports crates, let's get to my sports crates. You know, there's so many sports crates here for all the different teams I've ever played with and done sports stuff for. So just trying to find my way around super quick if I need like a song real quick, it can be tough. So normally I'll actually DJ warm-ups and halftime, but during the game itself, I just swap over to this Parallels app and I start playing quick hits, sound effects, and you got to like load these all in, you got to organize them, you got to come up with the cue points so that way they start at the right time. It's a lot of work on the front end, but then when you get to the game, it's so much easier, literally a million times easier because you've already organized everything. You've pre-planned everything. You've kind of scripted everything out ahead of time. So, yeah. And then also, if you're doing like pro sports stuff, I split it up into quarters. So here's the songs I'll need for quarter one. This is quarter one, timeout one. So some bumpers, an instrumental, a game or dance track, fan track. And then I do that for like quarter one, timeout 2, quarter one, timeout 3, quarter one, timeout 4 and 5, and then quarter break. So that way I have stuff ready to go. I've already thought about it. I don't have to like put that pressure on myself in the moment to pick the songs.